Oh my. Hudson. Hudson. Stop it. Stop being so cute. Come on now. Okay. Hello. Hello, Bookish Bedroom. Best. My name is Medallio. My channel. Welcome to my channel. I have a co-host today. So today I am reviewing Darling Villain by Victoria Opine. This is my first time reading a book by Opine. And I am not sure if I will be picking up the second book in the series. Now, this is not a standalone. This is the first book in the Forbidden Fruit series. The second book just dropped. It's named Cruel Hero. Again, I'm not sure if I'll pick up the second book, but we're going to get into it. They walk among us, an impossible existence, half human, half vampire, all weapon. But a darker power has risen. The witches have declared war. The hybrids are humanity's only hope, if they can survive their own blood. The fight begins in Youngblood, the electrifying first installment. Then the darkness takes hold in Shadow Creatures. Choose your side. Read the Hybrid series today. The story starts with Tiffany Carter. She is the heiress to a company called Carter Corporation that's actually being operated by her uncle, Dean Carter. So Tiffany commits a bait and switch where she decides to take a meeting with Adrien Leroy instead of her uncle taking the meeting. And Adrien Leroy comes across as this mysterious figure. He's an older man, and we know that he conducted business with Dean Carter at some point, but we don't really know what Adrien's business is. So, but Tiffany has taken this meeting with him, and she decides to divulge some receipts that she found when she was doing her accounting job for Carter Corporation. And she discovers these things that are basically discrepancies and inconsistencies, and she brings it to Adrien's attention. I don't really understand why she went to Adrien, because she doesn't know him. Like, we find out that they've never even met before. So I don't really understand why she would go to him, of all people. Maybe it's described in the book, but I don't remember if it was. So forgive me if it's there and I just don't remember. But this ends up being one of the biggest mistakes that she's made, because Adrien is now extremely suspicious of her. And apparently when he's suspicious, he kidnaps people. And he takes them to his country home, which is a mansion. And he does this because he wants to keep her there until he is satisfied with the answers that she gives to him. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was kidnapped and whisked to a mansion in the countryside, given my own room that's fully furnished and probably the size of a small apartment, with an ensuite bathroom, all to myself, with a maid and a live-in chef, that is a vacation. It is a free vacation too, nonetheless, for rich people. This is a vacation. I understand that we needed to get them in a place at the same time, and we needed her to be vulnerable to him for that proximity trope. But honestly, this is just a vacation. This is a nice, sweet time between two people who obviously have, a thing for each other. This doesn't come across as dark romance to me. Adrien divulges a lot of information to Tiffany about Carter Corporation. He says a lot, but also not a lot of anything at the same time. I don't know if it's just me, but I really just felt like the dialogue between these two characters was pretty empty. And I don't think we really got a lot of information out of them until maybe the end of the book. The characters were just trying way too hard to be cunning, Tiffany, and flirtatious. Now, Adrien does tell Tiffany that Carter Corporation may be dabbling in human trafficking, but he mainly tells her this because he wants to gauge her reaction and her true intentions behind it. Like, does she know? And is she okay with this? What kind of person is she? That's the vibe that I was getting from that. This also seems to solidify his feelings for her. So when she reacts the way that he's not expecting her to react, she's genuinely concerned and she's disgusted by this. And this solidifies his feelings for her and his intentions with her. And he also comes to the conclusion that he does want to bring down Carter Corporation, but now he's worried about the fallout hurting her. Okay, so do you think that Adrien is a smexy main male character name? Is there a certain name that you actually would swoon over? Ooh, you got some breath going on there. Tiffany. She is described as pure sunshine. She's 22 with blue eyes and blonde hair. And she's also tall. She's also described as having this bright, wide smile that just wraps everyone around her finger. My only grievance about her being so young is that she's being groomed to become the, like, to manage, what's the word? Like, I guess be CEO of Carter Corporation. But she's 22. And I'm just like, can she really manage a Forbes Fortune 100 company? I don't know. Tiffany's sassy personality that she brings out with Adrien is all that he needs to conclude that her picture perfect personality is just a facade. And she's hiding behind the fact that she wants his darkness to rub off on her. She desperately wants him to help her tap into it. Adrien. He is intense, unpredictable, except I think he is absolutely predictable. He's 10 years older, I think by that much, and also a playboy. Now, Tiffany describes him as a predator, a shark in blood-stained water. I give him an inch, and he'll take everything from me. He's also dabbling in some questionable business dealings that we really don't know about, but he's not as morally gray as Dean Carter. Yeah. Another thing about Adrien, and I Googled this because it was bothering me. Adrien's last name is Leroy, but he is supposed to be Italian. According to Google and other ancestry sites, Leroy is a French last name. He could have French ancestry, that's perfectly fine. I just thought it was strange that it wasn't really mentioned. Oh, hello there. Are you an indie romance author looking for a little bit more exposure, maybe some more readers? Well, you're in luck because I am a YouTube bookstagrammer and I do book reviews. And I'm always looking for some not on booktok romance authors. So if you would like to be considered, or if you would like me to read one of your books and review it on my channel, please fill out my Google form. Thanks. Oh, is that what I'm looking for? Just get that there. Got it. Bye. Thanks. I identified a few conflicts in this book. The first one is Adrien and Tiffany's attraction to each other and how forbidden it really is. The other is Dean Carter's nefarious business dealings and how the fallout of that could actually be dangerous to Tiffany and Olivia, her sister. The other main thing is that Adrien has a lot of things in play. Sorry if you hear that. It's Hudson in the background. My co-host, he's gone rogue. But Adrien has some things in play to take down Carter Corporation, and that actually might be detrimental to Tiffany, and it might drive her away from Adrien forever. In conclusion, darling villain is an enemies to lovers forbidden romance. My concluding thoughts are that this is not a new concept. This is a trending concept, and this has also been done before. But Opine's writing really drew me in because she built on this particular type of trend, but she gave it to us in a different way. And her descriptive writing and her imagery really drew me in. I had to look for it though. It wasn't like in places that I expected it to be, but when I found it, it just like jumped out at me and it made me smile because I was like, okay, this is good writing. This is really good. And then I read an advanced reader copy, and I know that advanced reader copies can have errors in them. I completely understand. However, this book is published. I read an advanced reader copy on a different site, but it's published. So I'm really hoping that the author didn't publish it with these errors in it and this obvious overlook of continuity. So I am not in the business of speaking poorly about an author's work. It takes a lot to write a book. Blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it. I'm an author too, so I completely understand. I'm in the business of reading because I'm a reader and a reviewer, not to discourage you from reading it. And those reasons are, as I mentioned before, but I'll go into detail, there were a lot of errors in word choices. One of the main continuity issues that I noted that really gave me the creeps and irked me and disgusted me was a scene where Tiffany's trying to sleep at night and all she hears is Adrien having sex with somebody else in his bedroom because their bedrooms are right next to each other. So she's hearing this and it's making her more and more angry, but she's also jealous because she wishes that it was her. I completely understand that. That's beautiful. It's great. Do it. She goes to his door, knocks on the door, and she's like, basically like, you know, like ghetto knocking, trying to get him to open the door. He finally does. He opens it. He's like, his hair is all messed up. He's clearly having sex. I thought this was a joke. I thought that he was just like watching porn and he had it turned up really loud just to make her upset. I thought that was the case. As I'm reading, I'm like, no, he was really sleeping with somebody else. And he just comes out in like boxers or something. And this is the first time that she's seen him like that. And she's just yelling at him, going off on him, clearly showing how affected she is. And then she finally decides, I'm going to give it one night. I'm going to give in and I'm going to do this with him right now, right here. He doesn't shower. He slept with somebody else, even said she went out the back door because that's the kind of person that she is. He didn't shower first. He just started kissing her, getting all over her, puts her in the bed. He didn't change the sheets. He didn't do anything. Girl, why is that okay? Tiffany, it's not okay. That's not okay. He should have taken a shower. He should have changed the sheets. He should have had more respect for you. That's what really bothered me. I'm sorry, hygiene, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. That's disgusting. Oh my God, no. I was like, no, all caps. I can't. And then, like I said before, the dialogue could have been better. It just seemed empty to me. We didn't really get any good dialogue until the end of the book where the characters divulged more about themselves and we got to learn more about them. Something else that Opine did that I really don't understand, she added additional POVs. I thought, okay, we're getting an additional POV male. I was like, maybe this is becoming a reverse harem situation or like a menage a trois type of situation. No. As far as I know, no. However, the character, he would say things like how he was attracted to Tiffany and how she would turn that bright smile on him and he would like, you know, want to give her whatever she wants. So I was like, maybe this is another love interest. I have absolutely no idea. I didn't understand why his POV was thrown in. We get Adrien's sister, her point of view. And again, she remarks about how beautiful Tiffany is and how she just like stands there and takes her in for just a split second and how she can't believe how beautiful she is. And I'm just like, why? Why are we getting this point of view? We don't need this. I mean, Sylvia has a plan to get Tiffany out. This might be a spoiler. But we could have gotten that POV from Tiffany, you know, when Tiffany decides to leave. We don't need Sylvia's point of view. We don't need to know that Sylvia is potentially attracted to Tiffany, even though she's not into women. I didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense. Also, there's a scene where Adrien is like, we're going to Italy. He's taking Tiffany with him, his captive. And he's just like, I'm going to my cousin's wedding and you're going to come with me. Why would you bring her as a guest and then keep her locked up? She wasn't able to do anything. She wasn't able to see the family. She wasn't able to meet anybody. She was held captive. And nobody knew who she was at the wedding. So they wouldn't even have known to ask questions as to who she really was. So I don't really understand why Adrien kept her locked up. He could have brought her. Even his family didn't know who she was. The only people who knew were his security team. So I don't get it. I also left the book. I got to the end and I still couldn't understand why they fell in love. I still couldn't understand how they fell in love. Like I didn't completely understand. And is it me as a reader where I'm reading way too many of these types of books where I'm noticing a pattern? I'm noticing that these specific tropes that are supposed to be dark, you know, they're following the same template, and it's really honestly making the story seem a little stale. I just want some originality. That's all I want. But like I said, Opine's writing, she had really great descriptive words. She did a good job with that. I think there's such great writing in here, but it's getting buried, you know, with all of this templated work, in my opinion, if that makes any sense. But again, these are my thoughts. These are my thoughts as a reader. I am an editor by trade, so that might be why I notice these things a little bit more. But I also have errors in my books that I've written, and I've caught them after they were published. I completely understand. I went in and fixed them and republished them, but, you know, other readers catch things. But if it's like 2 or 3 errors, that's completely fine. I would never mention it if it's like 2 or 3 errors. But if it's more than 4, if it's like beginning to become like double digits, that's a problem. And I think that you need to do yourself a service as an author, and you need to proofread before you publish. Don't just think, oh, this is done. I had an editor go through it, it's done. That's not true. There could be, you know, there could be space issues that you don't even know about. If you're doing everything in track changes, you can have a lot of errors and not realize it. So, but those are just my thoughts. That's it. I give this 3 peppers because the smack scenes were a lot and they were really good. And there was also a lot of really good tension between the characters. I also really liked how Tiffany and Adrien got together to have smacks for the first time. I thought it was nice. And, you know, very like, just very like explosive between the two of them. There isn't a lot of intimacy yet between them, and I'm hoping that that'll change, or we'll get more of it building in the second book. I give this 3 stars. The 3 stars to me is an average rating. I think it's a good rating too. I know that it may bring down your ranking on Amazon, which is a travesty to authors, because 3 is an average to me, and I've gotten 3s on my books, so I completely think that it's a fine rating. I've seen arguments against it, and I've seen arguments for it. But this one gets a 3-star rating because it had a great plot, but a lot of errors. Though I had a lot to say about a lot of things, I do still recommend this book because the writing was really good. And I do think that there's an intrigue there to see what happens between Adrien and Tiffany, especially because there was a cliffhanger at the end. So honestly, I mean, I am on the fence about reading the second book personally. I may need some time. I may come back to it later on. We'll see. But, you know, but you make the decision. Pick up your copy of Darling Villain by Victoria Opine. And the second book has just been published. It's called Cruel Hero. You don't have to be waiting. Cliffhanger. No worries, because you can go straight to the second book. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support indie authors with me, then please like and subscribe for more book summaries and more recs. I also provide some shorts that you might like. I really appreciate your support. But that is it for me. Thank you so much.